Mars is changing signs. Where's it going? What's it going to do?
Mars on the move, going from the sign of Scorpio, where it's been for the last 6 weeks, into the sign of Sagittarius. Normally Mars is the planet of ego-oriented projection. It's where we project our ego out into the world. It's where we put our passion into something. And normally it stays in the sign for 6 weeks and moves on. And it changes signs every 22 months. This year, because it is going retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius, it goes in March and does not get out of Sagittarius until September.
Whoa!
And when Mars is in a sign, you start new projects, you throw a whole bunch of stuff up on the wall, and during the retrograde, the stuff that's not going to work falls off. So it's a 2-month period when it does that. And then whatever you're left with, you take the next 2 or 3 months to build into something of substance. So I will go through the signs and let them know where they can expect this. For Pisces, the sign that we're in, it's in their 10th house of career and public standing, and it is a very difficult time for them professionally. They are going to feel that they are attacked on all sides, and that the law is clearly not on their side. Government authorities, the Pisces is going to be the martyr. Everybody's against them for the next 6 months or so, which is really crummy. For Aries, it's not so bad. It's in their 9th house of the law. Legal matters, educational matters, important matters at a distance go their way. It may take 6 months for it to play out, because no litigation happens quickly. But at the end of the day, the Aries is going to be very happy with the legal ruling that comes their way. For Tauruses, it's about spending a boatload of money on unanticipated expenses. And it's the kind of thing where you really need to fix something right the first time. Even if you have to bite the bullet and pay a lot of money, it's better to do it that way than to drag it out, because you're going to end up spending more, because it's other people's resources. For Geminis, it's in their 7th, and it's in Donald Trump's a Gemini, Marco Rubio's a Gemini. We got a lot of them running around for office. Mars is opposing their sign. And so for the next 6 months, the finger is pointed squarely at them, and they are going to have to try to defend their very public position, for good or for ill. Oh. For Cancers, it's in their 6th house of work and responsibilities. And for Cancers, it means that their job, where it is they do their job, is likely to be changing. There's likely to be restructuring going down. And my best advice for Cancer is keep your head down, stay out of the line of fire, and wait until the dust settles before you decide what you're going to do or what side you're going to be on. For Leos, it is the best 6 months headed their way. It is time for them to have a ton of fun. All the stresses that they went through in the last 3 years are done, and now they get to do something creative and new and fun, and find something new to fall in love with. If they're either in a physical sense, if they're unattached, and if they're in an attached relationship already, it enhances that, and the creative and the love principle flows freely for Leo for the next 6 months, which is just fabulous.
Woohoo!
For Virgos, not so much. It's in their 4th house of home, and there are changes going on at home, modifications. They have to be careful that when they start to modify something, that they have a plan. They know where the load-bearing walls are, because they're very likely, in their haste, to knock down everything, even stuff that shouldn't be knocked down, that actually supports them. Ooh. Yeah. So for Libras, it's in their 3rd house of day-to-day living, and the pace of their day-to-day living picks up to where they have lots more short-distance, short-duration travel in store for them. And I imagine for Nick it means more personal appearances and stuff like that. And also they can cut a pretty good deal for themselves. They can negotiate a pretty good deal for themselves. And they need to remember that the person who appears to care the least controls the negotiation. For Scorpios, it's in their 2nd house of money, and much like Taurus, they spend a boatload of money, and it's not it's not an unanticipated income. It's on stuff that they want for them. Which, if you're going to spend money, you may as well get something out of it.
Sure.
For Sagittarians, it's in their it is in their sign. When Mars is in your sign, it fires you up, it empowers you, and Sagittarians have to be careful, because the universe is going to give them exactly what they asked for. But it always comes with a responsibility and a price, and they never want to pay retail. So they have to be careful with that, or they'll get way more than they bargained for. For Capricorns, it's in their 12th house, and they're going to take a step back for about 6 months, try and regroup, try and reorganize. They're finishing 10 years worth of activity, and so they want to finish that up. There's no energy to start new stuff right away. And then for Aquarius, the last sign, 11th house, hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives. They get to reach for the brass ring, and they will have the help of their well-placed male friends to help them do it. So it's a pretty good time for them. So that's tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac, with Mars going into the sign of Sagittarius.
Sounded like pretty good news for the most part.
For the most part.
We'll see you next week.
Always a pleasure.